What's the key to a successful marriage? Hi, it's Stacey Berger here. And this week, my parents are celebrating a very special wedding anniversary. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary. And while I don't think a successful marriage is always based on the longevity of the marriage, I think we all know people who have been in long marriages, but they've been unhappy and not love filled. I'm so grateful for parents who have role modeled a successful marriage. And I wanted to just connect today about some of the things required to create a successful relationship. These tips aren't just meant for a love relationship or a romantic relationship, but they really apply to all relationships in our life. And I wanted to bring to your attention some of Gary Chapman's work, and you may be familiar with his book, The Five Love Languages. And if this is a book you haven't read, I would highly recommend you reading it. It's a gift that I like to give as a wedding gift or a shower gift because I think the principles that he unpacks inside of his book, The Five Love Languages, really can be a foundational piece to setting us up for success in our relationship. And the five love languages really identifies that we all have different ways that we receive love. And if you can imagine that you have a love tank, kind of like your car has a gas tank, you have a love tank. And when your love tank is full, you're happier. You're feeling more connected. There's more intimacy and connection and love inside of a relationship. And just like if you let your gas tank go to empty, it sputters and the car dies. And it's the same in our relationships. If we or our partner has an empty love tank, then that relationship starts to go into sputtering out. And if we're not careful, that can be the end of a relationship or the end of a happy relationship. We still may stay in relationship, but you're not going to feel as fulfilled in that relationship. So understanding these five love languages, and I'm not going to go into a deep dive on all of the love languages, but what I want to speak about is the fact that all of our love languages are different. And so one of the things that may fill your love tank up is not going to be the same necessarily as what fills your partner's up. And one of the pieces in relationships is really this idea of being in service of our partner or in service of the relationship. If your purpose or your intention, your vision is greater connection, greater intimacy, that requires us to give of ourselves to our partners. We're not responsible for our partner's happiness or we can't change them. But when we're both making a commitment to be in relationship, to create greater connection, greater intimacy, greater fulfillment, it requires both of us to give of ourselves. And so, as Gary Chapman outlines the five love languages, one of them is words of affirmation. So, when you're complimented, when you're told that you're doing a good job, when you're affirmed in your marriage by your partner, that can fill up your love tank. Another one is quality of time. For some of us, when we spend quality time, and again, this can be with friends, family members, your partner, when you're spending quality time together and you're doing things together, that fills up your love tank. One is gifts. When we receive gifts, and this could be the gift of going out for dinner or a physical gift. These don't have to be big, lavish gifts. But when you are given a gift, it just makes you feel so loved, so connected. One of the other love languages is acts of service. So think about when somebody does something for you. It could be emptying the dishwasher, taking out the garbage, helping with chores around the house, running errands. And when your partner does those things for you, you just feel so loved, and it really, again, fills up that love tank. And the last one is physical touch. And for some of us, that's our love language, where you feel really loved when you're holding hands, when you're kissing, when there's that physical contact is really important to you in order to fill up the love tank. When we understand not only what our love language is, but our partner's love language, and we begin to fill their tank with their love language, they feel more loved, appreciated, connected. And when our partner knows what our love language is and they respond to that, we feel more loved. Our love tank is full, which creates this really great relationship. Here's why this is so important is oftentimes if we have one love language, so if my love language is quality time, but that's not my husband's love language. If his is acts of service, but here I am giving him quality time, and he's not feeling loved, I might be frustrated by that and say, but hey, look at everything I'm doing and all the time we're spending together. But if I'm not helping out around the house, if I'm not doing my part or contributing, that's his language. And so it's required of us to speak the other person's love language in order to fill up their love tank. So consider, and I would encourage you to check out Gary Chapman's work. He has a quiz where you can really discover what your love language is. You can share it with your partner, you can do it together. But just by understanding that we all feel loved differently. And when we can communicate and connect in a way that resonates with us, we create greater connection, greater intimacy, and greater fulfillment in our relationships. So I want to acknowledge my parents today for their 50 years of working on their marriage and really role modeling what that can look like. And I just wish you many, many more years together. And for all of us, you have a vision of what you would love in your relationships. And so this is one piece to look at to really create that greater intimacy, longevity, fulfillment. Here is to you living a life you love.